All right, we are back on air. Sorry about the oops, sorry. We're back on air waiting for everybody else to come in. Our producer David Grossman he has to get up early in the morning, so he is leaving us. But I am going to ride with you. I'm going to ride with you for the rest of the night, and I'm going to wait for Adair and the rest of everyone else to come in. Thank you so much to everyone who has been hanging with us all night. Yeah, this is something. Like, I don't know that people predicted that they thought that this is what was going to happen, but here we are. Yeah, like this is insane right now, right? Like, I mean, who knew that this was what was going to go down? I don't know. Did you know? Like, because I didn't know. I didn't think it was going to be that easy for her, but I did not anticipate her struggling so badly. We'll see what happens. We'll see if there are any lawsuits and stuff the rest of the week. Yeah, like, I don't know. So I'm waiting for the rest of the team to come on over. So you follow from Ben's show. Yeah, it's still all of us. Ben, we'll see if we can get Ben back on. But yeah. No, I'm still on Ben's channel. Just tweeting out the link. We are here. We just had technical issues, had to let my producer go to sleep. So we had to switch the stream because it's late. Is there anything close enough for a recount? Not sure. I mean, it'll be definitely, let's see, look in some of the states, what's going on. Florida, I don't, unless there's some type of impropriety, I'm not really sure what's going on. When I was just looking, Pennsylvania looks really close. What? Pennsylvania looks really close in terms of, so whether or not she's within a recount. As usual. Sorry, because I'm also trying to update the link and stuff at the same time. We are trying to, like I said, I'm trying to get everybody to come on back in now to this thread. Hey guys. Nah, it's over. Trump's our president. Yeah, so I'm excited because I actually get to kick it in the chat with you guys for a little bit. I'm here as Ben. It's Anoa. Since I'm on the big show, Black Leftist Media Import. It absolutely is. If you guys haven't already, definitely check out Yvette Cornell. Not Cornell, Carnell with Breaking Brown. Tomorrow night on the way with Anoa, shameless plug for my show, Wednesday, 8 p.m. I switched to Wednesday nights. So tomorrow night, I'm actually going to have Marcus Farrell on with me, former director of African American Outreach for Bernie Sanders campaign. He's going to come and talk about, kind of where we are and where we're going. We have some really exciting stuff going down the pipeline, and definitely want everybody involved if possible. Hold on for 1 second. Hello. Hi, sorry. So apologies so much to you guys. Like, that was Canadian Broadcast Radio. I was actually supposed to be interviewed several hours earlier about the election. They're way behind schedule, as you can imagine, because nobody expected things to go this way. And I'm actually going to be back on the radio in the morning too. So they were calling to kind of straighten it. I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing something else now. But I'm waiting for the rest of the team to come back in. So what questions and stuff? I'm taking questions from you guys. You can't hear me. Oh, great. What did she need to say to American women and American girls who she had spoken so much? Oh, can you hear me now? Yay, good. Okay, great. There's a little bit of a delay. So I was just saying that I just got a call from, is this a channel from the hearing impaired? No, I just got a call from Canadian Broadcast Radio. Yes, I can hear you. So anyway, they are holding on. We can hear you fine. Okay, yeah. I get you guys can hear me fine. But anyway, I was just saying that when I took the call, which I so apologize for, the rest of the team is supposed to be here by now because we had to switch streams because our producer anyway shut down the stream. Anyway, I'm going on Canadian Broadcast Radio. You know, with climate change, Canada will be quite nice in a few years. Yeah, so how are you guys feeling? Talk to me in the chat right now because I don't have access to phones tonight. Sharon said it's up to us. Hold on for a second, you guys.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Were you able to hear the program okay there?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. Our technician, Gary, was trying to talk to you, but were you able to hear him?
Yeah, I was. I had myself muted, and I didn't get myself unmuted in time.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind just leaving it off mute, you won't come on over the air or anything by accident. So we'll turn on your microphone from our end. So just that way, if we come to you suddenly, then you'll be ready. Okay.
Okay.
All right, great. Thanks. I'm going to connect you again.
So anyway, I'm so sorry that's happening. Like I said, the rest of the guys are supposed to be in here with me because I actually have to get on an interview right now. But like I said, anyway, talk to me in the chat because we don't have phones right now. What are you guys thinking? Where are you at? How do you feel about what is unraveling tonight? And we'll do it this way while we're still waiting. I mean, I saw some comments that Trump supporters are going to take the economy down the tank. I mean, should we have all just bit the bullet and voted for Hillary Clinton? I mean, should we have just done that? You know, like, what do you guys think? I mean, is that something that we should have done? Or you know, Sharon was saying, I don't think Trump's success is about racism, at least not primarily. I think it's about anger among working Americans. Some displaced anger, of course. How do I explain tonight to my students of color? I mean, you know, you can talk about like what happened, right? Because we have a system and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And I agree, Sharon, we would still have to deal with it no matter what. I mean, but this is the problem. This was made to be about defeating racism, defeating, you know, I mean, and that's not really what this is about at all. Like this candidates, this race, this was built up to be one thing when in actuality it was really something else. And I think that's a strong point. So I think we have honest conversations with kids. When my kids wake up tomorrow, I'm going to have to talk to my son, even though, you know, it's Hillary's fault. You know, like, I don't know. I really don't know what we tell our kids. I know we just have honest conversations. Yay, here comes Adair and Brandon. Back up, because I got to get ready and get on this interview and then come right back, y'all. But anyway, I'm joined by Adair and Brandon from Project Sanity. Holla, my brother's in the house. And then someone else said, how do you explain tonight to your students when Clinton wins the popular vote? Will she win the popular vote, though? Is she winning the popular vote? I mean,
no.
You know,
is she? I don't think she is.
I don't even think she is winning the popular vote. I think the problem is when you talk about students, you talk about campaign strategies, you talk about building coalitions and how to instill hope and how to lead. I think this is an example in leadership versus because they chose to build a movement around fear. And fear can be a motivator, but maybe it's not the right motivator. And that's very interesting. Someone's saying that Trump has more women in positions of power than Hillary. Interesting. I don't really know specifically about that. I do know that, for example, George Bush had quite a few people of color. He had great diversity actually in his cabinet. Didn't mean that he was a good president or had anything good going on. But I really do think that the Democrats calculated wrong. They thought that they could pick up quote unquote moderate and reasonable Republicans, and that backfired. What do you guys think? Because I mean, we've been going at this for hours now. Yes, Gore won the popular vote, but Gore actually technically would have won had he challenged all the votes in Florida and they did a full state recount. That's not this situation at all. You know, in this situation, Bernie is going to be too old in 2020. And let's be real, Bernie might have been too old this time. Who really actually knows? Hillary's going to be possibly too old, arguably, in 2020, and so will Trump. So, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens going forward. It's going to be what's going to really turn on is us as a movement and how we respond in the coming days. I mean, we can't buckle Nina Turner 2020. I could get with that. How about Warren 2020 instead? I think her credibility is shot. I think everybody who got behind, Hillary Clinton and doubled down and fed into this fear mongering, because here's the thing, right? You feed into this fear mongering, and Hillary herself, even earlier and on election day, is saying things like, well, maybe we could still be friends down the line. If he's such an awful person, if he's such a fear mongering, hateful womanizer, why the hell would you want to be friends with him? So 85 is a new 65. Tulsi Nina 2020. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen if you believe. I mean, like, we're looking at this map right now, and pretty much all the pundits need to be fired. They need to be fired. Absolutely.
No, but that's the thing. They believe their own hype. They believe that they were reporting reality and not actually creating it. And that's the fighting part. You had a bunch of people who convinced themselves that what they were saying were true, because I think you have the whole manufacturing consent branch of the thought. But I think a lot of people just really thought that that their viewpoint was the correct one.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, turns out that's not the case.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, they're talking to someone from the Clinton headquarters. Like I said, I was trying to say to you guys earlier, I'm on hold with CBC Radio, Canadian Broadcast Channel Radio, to give commentary on tonight's event. So in a minute, I'll turn it over to the guys to talk. I mean, we're here, so we're reading from the chat, seeing what's going on with you guys and see how you're feeling about this. Donna is going to be in Operation Mockingbird. We are a long way from electing. I mean, maybe not. I mean, I don't know if we're a long way from electing a Black woman from office. The pundits are too close to the politicians. Yeah, we do need independent. We do need independent folks. We do need independent folks who are not. WikiLeaks did his job. I mean, WikiLeaks exposed the truth, right? The Clinton campaign kept trying to double down and never address it. That's the problem.
If nothing else, I do think the Russia narrative hurt them more than it helped them. I think the constant pounding on Russia really made people dislike the Clintons. Because even my 11-year-old niece pointed out that it was off-putting for them to keep hammering Russia. I think that lost them a lot of respect for people.
That's part of it. I mean, you can't take all of your problems and say, but somebody else, and expect the American populace to be ignorant enough to feel like you're the person that they should put their trust in. You cannot be the person who is so eager to hit that war narrative as to say, oh yeah, no, I will put a no-fly zone in Syria and we'll shoot down Russian jets. You cannot be the antithesis of everything the Democratic Party is supposed to stand for, go out to America and say, vote for me or you're a sexist, and expect America to just fall in line with you. You have to stand on your own abilities and not the shortcomings of other people. You have to give the American populace more credit than that. And Hillary Clinton and the Democratic Party didn't do that, and now they're reaping what they sowed.
I mean, a lot of this is that they were just the Democratic Party and the establishment were bullies this time. I mean, Trump was obviously a bully, but the establishment bullied their own base. They didn't take it upon themselves to bully the Republicans or any sort of other demographic. The Democratic Party bullied its own voters. It bullied its own voters from the beginning of the primary to the end of the primary, and then it bullied them after. It never took a step back to even upon it coming out that the DNC was rigging the election. They never took a step back and said, maybe we should stop rubbing the victory of Clinton in the primary in Bernie Sanders' face. Maybe we shouldn't. I mean, even at the convention, when it was already known that she cheated, that the Democratic National Convention Committee cheated, you still had people like Sarah Silverman getting on stage, like rubbing it in people's faces, like rubbing it in everyone's face. It's like, no, come on, humility. Like, have you ever heard of humility?
I have to double check with some of my other delegates, and maybe though, if we have that the footage up when I was at the DNC on the last night, one of the speakers at the DNC, and I believe it was her family actually, were the group of people that's really, you can obviously tell they're this very affluent, wealthy white family. Down to the blonde hair, blue eyes, for pretty much all of them, were reaching over and constantly. Oh, inward this, inward that. Go back to where you came from. You're not American. You're not worth this. You're a terrible human being. Inward, 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 inward. You don't belong here. That's the Democratic National Convention. That is supposed to be the party of inclusion and tolerance. And the moment you decide you don't agree with who their candidate should be, the moment you decide that Black Lives Matter, the moment you decide not to sit idly by while you watch the party that you've been a part of since you've come of age, even before that, quite honestly, turn into something that it should not be, turn into this amorphous blob that is nothing different than than what the Republicans used to be.
I only registered as a Democrat to vote for Bernie Sanders, so I don't know about. I knew what Democrats were about from the moment it. I always knew what it was about, 100%. So I mean, that's not to make the claim that
Obama.
I never liked Obama. I never liked Obama, and that's. It's like I mean, I wasn't old enough to vote for Obama either, but I was 17 in 2008, and so, but even then, I did not like Obama, and I have to point out that at 17, I was more enlightened than most people. I was just reading stuff from black people that I admired, like people like not critical black thinkers, but people like Aaron Magruder, who wrote the Boondocks. And he wrote scathing things about Obama in 2008, about how he was just another neoliberal, how he was just another conservative, he was just another slightly to the left Democrat, if not slightly to the right. And I took that to heart, and I just didn't support him. And by the time it got to 2012, he had proven those people to be completely accurate.
I vote.
So there is a comment in the chat I want to address. I'm gonna get your opinion on this too. The articles that are gonna really annoy me tomorrow and the day after are the ones that are gonna try to blame this on sexism. They're gonna try to blame Hillary Clinton's loss on some kind of like sexist cabal or sexist mentality that was present in enough people. And so yeah, let's get this out. Let's get this out of the way. Sexism probably played a part in a lot of people being hesitant to not voting for Clinton, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But she didn't do herself any favors by also being awful personally. And at a certain point, you can't blame structural problems. You can't blame structural problems, structural prejudice, structural inequality for your own individual flaws. And that's what we're seeing now. People are so quick to absolve Clinton of her own personal flaws because of the existence of structural inequality that it just becomes entirely disingenuous. And so. And let me finish up real quick. And let's also be very clear. Clinton becoming elected was not some sort of big step for the feminist movement or the anti-sexist or gender equality, because ultimately what sustains sexism is neoliberal policies. What sustains any kind of social prejudice, economic prejudice is neoliberal policies. So simply by putting a female face on those policies, she was just going to make sexism worse. Obama made racism worse, and not simply because he was a black president, but because his policies were so detrimental to the vast majority of Americans, and which all it does is create a vacuum and a power. All it does is create animosity between the poor, which sustains
absolutely
racism.
agree. I'm back now. I had to go get me a beer. I'm sorry. It's a late show.
I mean, but here's one of the things that we're talking right now about the article again. Someone commented about the articles that are coming out tomorrow saying Hillary Clinton lost because of sexism. I'll be the first one to admit, if you're a male in this society, you're sexist. You just
how to explain the white women that didn't go for her.
Right, because she's awful. She's just an awful candidate. They're probably also sexist,
and you're mean.
She's probably also sexist. A lot of women are sexist. That's fine. She's also just awful. That's like me trying to say we can't convict Bill Cosby because some black people are innocent and then convicted unfairly. It's just like that's true, but that's not how it works.
Period. But I mean, here's the thing. And here's something this is how I've talked to everybody that's accused. I've been accused of being a sexist multiple times because I do not support Hillary Clinton. I grew up in the estrogen ocean. I grew up with mom, sisters, aunties, grandmas, cousins. Everybody in my family is a woman. I have grown up, the people I admire most in my life are women. I understand that just by virtue of being in the society, I have sexist tendencies, and I have to sit down every day and work on that because that's my job as a man in this society to try to move forward from that. I don't like Hillary Clinton because of her policies. A lot of people don't like Hillary Clinton because of her policies. Her gender has nothing to do with it. Her policies have everything to do with why I would never in my life vote for the woman.
That's absolutely true, but I mean, I'm not that insecure. I'm sure people have criticized me for being sexist for not voting for Hillary Clinton. I don't care. Like, I frankly just don't care because ultimately, if that's your go-to,
Brandon, you don't care what other people think. Period.
I do care. I do care.
That's part of that.
I care what other people think if they're thinking critically, if they're coming up with arguments. But the moment you tell me I don't like Hillary Clinton because she's a woman, it shows me that you're going with the very, very most shallow identity politics possible. You're not engaging with the fact that she's rich. You're not engaging with the fact that she's white. You're not engaging with any of these other parts of identity. Yep. You're cherry picking exactly what you want to be true about her and ignoring the rest. So yeah. Yep. There are lots of reasons why you could accuse me of being a sexist or misogynist. That's not one of them. Like, I mean, I don't.
Rosa said they keeping a list and they checking it twice. They taking people out.
Damn. Hey, yo, but for real though, I just want everyone here need to know we gonna need to just start hack slowly. Get ready. We can't all leave at once, but I ain't getting deported. President Trump, he all Mexicans are rapists. What he means is everybody that don't look like him.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, right? We've been making light the last several hours about this, but let's be serious though, right? I know someone in the chat mentioned the possibility of several Supreme Court seats. Yo, y'all got to hang on there and just not die for like 4 years. Just give us 4 years. Don't die, and we good. Or if there is any bad law passed by the Supreme Court, we need to turn the House and the Senate completely blue.
Yeah.
2018, so we can pass legislation to get around whatever bad decisions they make. I mean, that's how we get around that. You know, the problem. There are problems though. When you look at who Trump has had around him, right? He has people who have faked their degrees, right? Yeah. Like it is a concern to think about. I mean, Pence comes off as okay, but he's a highly problematic, person in his own right. So there are a lot of things out there to be concerned about. But as people said earlier, we survived Bush, we survived Reagan, y'all older folks survived Nixon, we be all right. I mean, we're a strong and resilient group of folks. I mean, when you think about the things, everybody want to invoke the ancestors. I mean, for those of us who are descendants of African slaves or enslaved Africans, I mean, for those of us who are descendants of Irish immigrants who came over escaping the potato famine. I mean, insert the list of people who came over here escaping horrors and atrocities or experienced horrors and atrocities on this soil. The fact that we're all sitting here on this high-tech internet having this conversation and being able to criticize and critique now is a sign of what our people, what our ancestors, wherever you have come from, have endured. So I know it's going to be jacked up in some ways, and I'm sure there's a lawsuit. I know her legal team, all them lawyers. We can't wonder why she had all them lawyers. This is why.
Well, here's a
I'm sorry.
quick
Speaking,
real quick, because this plays right into that. We talk about 2018, right? Does this energize the left base to actually vote in a midterm?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, really, does this do it? I don't know. I doubt it. Honestly.
Speaking of Nixon, did you see what the Nixon Foundation tweeted out today? And they were like, retweet if you'd vote for Nixon in this election over Clinton or Trump. And you know what? I sat down and thought about it. Like, and I tweeted back. I was like, I can't guarantee I'd vote for him, but I didn't dismiss it immediately, and that's a problem. Like, upon being like, would you prefer to vote for Nixon over Clinton or Trump? I was like, well, what did he really do? I was like, well, like, okay, the drug war is pretty bad. Vietnam, obvious racist, the Watergate thing, I was like, I really gave it like a few minutes of thought, and I was like, I'd probably still vote for Jill Stein. But
it's all our fault. Jill Stein, and no diss to the Greens. This is not me dissing her, but Jill Stein is not even completely at 1% even nationwide from the last time someone gave me an update. But yet folks want to blame Jill Stein supporters for Hillary losing. Hillary is like Gore. Hillary, and I said this before, Hillary and Kane are like Gore and Lieberman in 2000. She at least could win her home states, right? She at least won her home states, did not win her husband's home state, did not win needed states. I mean, you lost the swing states. If you lost Pennsylvania, and this is the problem, right? You can't just blame people because they didn't vote for her. There are a lot of people out there who we can say, well, people should just, and this is something that was said, we've all discussed the black vote, for example, in the primaries, right? People should just educate themselves and know what to vote for. I mean, to some extent, yes, but at the same time, when you have information, when you have messaging that's being disseminated in a certain way, and the only thing that's being said to us is, he shrugs his shoulders and he's like, okay, well, I'm not perfect, but she's a liar.
Right.
As the average person, and the average person is not digging in the way many of us have intellectually, academically into the information to parse things out, right? Like, people might get afraid of certain things, but like, the problem is that Trump has this, like, people have been dogging him because he speaks at a 4th grade level, but most of America only speaks at like a 4th or 6th grade level. Like, it's really crazy. Like, in the work I do, we get told that we need to write, I write legal documents and stuff, and we get told we have to write at a lower level for people to comprehend. Unfortunately, Democrats have allowed the dumbing down of America to happen over the last several decades, and here we are. And it's benefited them as well, but now it's not benefiting them. So, like,
we see the same thing. I mean, we see the same thing when we write articles for the Progressive Army, the SEO, search engine optimization, all of like.
I never do well on that. I always have a very low score.
The writing tips for like how to make good blog posts encourage you to write at a 5th grade level.
Right.
Really poorly at it because obviously, I have a high level education, so I automatically trend towards, being a little bit more verbose, sometimes overly so, obviously. But I think that without trying, I write at a college level, like at an undergraduate level, and if I really try, I can write at a, obviously an academic journal level. But it encourages you to go, well, that word's too big. People aren't going to read that. That sentence is too long. People aren't going to read that. All right, I got
a bunch of windows. Go ahead. I got, my girl is sending me receipts via the you keep talking.
Okay. So I mean, it looks like Trump is going to win Pennsylvania.
Looks like Pennsylvania's Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania's 99%,
and
okay,
Trump
wins Pennsylvania over. I have a friend. Well, shout out to Dr. Amina, who has been a contributor to my women's roundtable. I mean, girls, we're gonna have to get another one going real soon. But anyway, she's sending us, because we have our own little internal thread where we talk about issues and stuff. And this has been a really, that's something we've talked about, is because, it is a woman going for that highest mantle, like as mothers, as daughters, as women, as partners. Shouldn't we be motivated by this? But one thing she's pointed out when we're talking about how Bernie should have been in it, stuff like this, if everybody can see it, Bernie Sanders prioritized gun manufacturers' rights over the parents of the children killed at Sandy Hook. It was stuff like that happened that was so heavy-handed, so dishonest. And matter of fact, that lawsuit got thrown out for many of the reasons I laid out back in the springtime anyway. Like, that stuff was just so heavy-handed and so untrue. And here we are, they just did what they did. And everyone's like, well, that's how politics are. Well, people electing a dumbass candidate who sucks. That's just politics, right? Like, but I think something Adair said earlier about how we need to really make sure that we're staffing, supporting, engaging around local issues, around candidates that absolutely matter. Shout out to Pramila, because that's like.
And I will try to get along with you.
Definitely.
I will reach my contacts. Pramila's an absolutely wonderful person.
We had some. She's open to it. I do know, but I know that her scheduling has just been insane, because we had some emails going back and forth in the summertime. But maybe now,
right?
Now we're really going to need to bring people in, because we really got to circle the wagons. And I'm sorry, our revolution, no diss to anybody involved, but I don't trust Jeff Weaver with my life. I don't.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't.
I mean, here's the thing, and you brought it up, Anoa, and it's so true. People hate liars, man. Like, people do not like liars. People would rather you be mean to them. And a lot of people, if you lie, if you're bad at lying, people won't know exactly what's wrong with you, why they don't trust you. They won't be able to perceive that you're lying or you're disingenuous, but they won't trust you. Personal life. My personal life, I take it upon myself to lie often. Especially in the workplace or on dates with young ladies or young men, if I'm into that sort of thing. Who knows? No, but here's the thing. In situations when I'm on my job and I'm lying and pretending to be nice, people usually dislike me way more than when I'm doing something like this and I'm obviously being an asshole. Because there's something about being disingenuous people don't like. But there is a certain population out there who they can't pick up on that disingenuousness. I think our viewers are savvier than hardcore viewers or CNN are. I think we're savvier than they are too. So we can pick up on, and I think a large portion of America is savvier than the minority that watch it, minority that looks at the establishment and doesn't see a problem because they're part of that establishment, either in actuality or by looking like them. So my point is that Hillary Clinton's a liar and disingenuous, a bad one at that. And so at the end of the day, you're going to turn people off. You don't win the votes of poor people, of working class, of people who've seen hardship by lying to them, because they can tell, because they've been in situations where they've been lied to their whole lives. They've seen that fake smile. They've seen they've seen you smile with your mouth but not smile with your eyes, and they can tell that you're lying to them. Right. And I was called this. Now it's just a late to the show, so now it's time to talk about Brandon's dating life. I was called out for lying to what you call this. I mean, I was by this lovely young lady that I'm dating or might be dating. Who knows? She might hate me by now. Who cares? Where she sat me down. She sat me down. She was just like, I can tell you're lying to me, right? I was like, what? I was like, no, I'm not. And she was just like, I can tell because you make weird mannerisms with your face when you're being disingenuous. And I was just like, that's not true. And she was like, you're doing it right now. And I was like, okay. And she was like, I would just prefer that you not pretend to be nice to me, because that makes me uncomfortable more so than if you were just actually mean. And I was like, okay, that takes a lot of pressure off me. But that's just my way of saying that most people who are savvy can tell that you're lying to them. And people could tell Clinton was lying to them. People could tell that she didn't believe in $15 minimum wage. She didn't believe in climate change. Or if she did believe, she didn't care. That she didn't care about poor people or black people or women. She didn't carry hot sauce. She couldn't
gab. It has been very clear from the very beginning. All she has cared about is herself. I'm so sorry. She's very problematic bully who had everything that she ever wanted. Like, seriously, she's Regina George. Yo, she's Regina George from Mean Girls, and this that moment when Regina George gets hit by the bus.
And also, I've never seen
I'll be Katie. So
I've never seen Mean Girls. But my point
need
is
to watch.
that,
You just need to Google that. You just need to look at that clip. You don't even watch the movie. Just see that clip.
All I'm saying, I mean, so to relate it back to what I'm used to growing up, she's that girl in high school with the extra big hoop earrings that just do the neck roll at the teacher, right? We all had the one where she just get extra mad about nothing and just feel like she has the right to go off. Mm-hmm. She feels she has the right to just sit up here and do what she wants because of who she is, and ain't no one gonna say nothing.
See, I'm sorry. I'm reading the chat. I'm reading the chat right now, and after admitting that I'm a gross liar who lies to women, and and also my coworkers, people are like, ha ha ha, Brandon's so charming. Now, if I had lied about it,
it's because people think you are lying, Brandon. People think you are lying until they get to know you.
Anyway, the point I'm trying to make,
you getting to know all about.
First of all,
you.
That's how you know that she is not down with black youth. Jay-Z's awful. Like, Jay-Z is awful.
First off, okay, so I'm really excited because I got two interviews dropping tomorrow. So one, I was on Eugene Per Years By Any Means Necessary, and that was a really great interview. And one of the brothers, I can't remember if it was Tracy Redden or Bonnie, who said this, but they were just like, look, Jay-Z is the wrong damn person you're going to bring out to get me to vote. Jay-Z has told me for 20 years that he is a hustler, that he knows he will get his however he got to get his. He about making that money. He going to do what he got to do. Right? So I believe Jay-Z. I take him at his word. So I will never take political advice from Jay-Z. It's cute. So, I mean, and he's right. I won't
take political advice from 2016 Jay-Z.
People was like lit. It was, I got the keys, because we got receipts, yo. Like, seriously, like, I'm sorry. Yeah, like.
I won't take advice from 2016 Jay-Z. Maybe 1996 Jay-Z. Maybe reasonable doubt.
1996 Jay-Z wouldn't have been. I'm still trying to get an accurate amount of how much they were paid to do.
Okay, hold on. Sorry, interruption. Trump won Pennsylvania. This is over.
Yep.
They called it. They called it for Trump.
Are you?
Yep.
Like, I know we've been talking shit all night. Like, I know we've been talking shit all night, but mind fucking blown, okay? Your husband, like, seriously, we gotta go back. Receipts. Bill Clinton, like June, July, Bill Clinton sits down and encourages Trump to run. Hillary's gonna go blow his fucking brains out with them guns she say she don't like when she gets home.
I don't like it.
This is a surefire. You said I was gonna win this time. Hillary, divorce him. Girl, divorce him. Divorce him. We were talking about this. I will vote for you in 2020. Divorce his ass. I will carry your geriatric colostomy bag, whatever you got going on. Divorce Bill right now. We might have a chance.
We were talking about this.
Imagine if Trump brings out Nas at his win.
Man, if Trump brings out Nas, I will lose all respect for the brother. Like, period. Don't even joke like that. I like Nas, man. You can't even joke like that. Like, that's white people can have Jay-Z. You can't take Nas. Like, period. Like, no. That's a cutoff there. Nah. But I mean, it's for real. Like, I've been telling folks this entire time.
I don't like it if it don't glean clean. What the hell? With the price, because the money ain't a thing. But
Brandon.
Huma. Okay, so hey, chat room. Do you think this last? So let's be serious for a second. Do you think WikiLeaks had something to do with this? Do you think that people were just so disgusted with what they saw happening? I mean, chat room, I'm talking to you guys. Do you think that has something to do with it? Do you think this most recent, hiccup with the FBI, do you think that has something to do with it? Like, do you guys think that any of this stuff really is what hurt Hillary Clinton, or is it the fact that she just sucked? Yo, yeah, shout out to Sharon. Sharon been rocking with us for a long time now. Shout out to HG, Lednerg, holla. I mean, we trying to keep it light. I know it's real serious. I know it's freaky deaky stuff going on right now, but life is going to go on. We going to make it through. Because even if he really actually wants to be president, let's say he really does this and doesn't give us over the pins, we already know this is about to be a one term. And we not going to fall for the okie doke with Bush like we did and let the Democrats. They not in control no more. Like, y'all driving drunk.
They couldn't even be Trump. They couldn't even beat Trump. I've got one thing to say. Trump wins. Flawless victory.
Fatality.
Fatality. Fatality.
I agree. WikiLeaks confirmed what we knew all along. Didn't Trump say Hillary? He definitely said that he was going to. He's not going to, though. They're friends. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I really don't know. And I feel so bad for people who really put their integrity on the line for her. Like Michelle, not Barack. Like, whatever, dude. Michelle.
Yo, everyone likes Michelle.
Hey,
I don't think it actually had any. I don't think it had any sort of effect on the actual election outcomes. I think that
I think you're tripping.
I don't. Well, I think again, I think we're in a bubble. I think we need to think about the people who are listening right now, and us need to consider that the vast majority of people who exist in this, who are watching this show, who exist in this sort of realm, care more about politics than 90% of the rest of America, and that includes the people who don't watch any news, who don't go on Twitter, who don't belong to our Twitter feeds, who don't go on any of the websites, and all they heard was, oh, like it's not that big of a deal, don't worry about it. The mainstream media didn't really care.
That's part of it. It's not necessarily the general public. It's some of those Democrats who were really on the fence about voting for Hillary Clinton, especially in swing states, especially in the Pennsylvanias.
But I know people who are diehard Democrats who voted against her. But again, like I was saying earlier in the show, there are people who, yeah, Trump is bad, Trump is this, that, and the other, but she's a liar, she's deceitful, she's done all this stuff. And I mean, people cheating in business, I think people have come to expect that from business leaders, right? I mean, Bloomberg is, I think people have come to expect that. But the fact that she's been a public servant, right, and has hyped that up, they oversold her. Everybody that stood up and supported her oversold her. Michelle Obama was at the DNC, and when we did live DNC coverage, I told y'all not to come for Michelle because I was going to be coming for y'all, right? I might tolerate a little criticism of Michelle right now.
but here's the thing.
But she oversold for that black woman to hold the position that she personally has held and the work that she personally has put in her life. Talk about how her daughters, her and Barack's daughters, somehow feel more about themselves because of this chick. Like, are you serious? Like, I'm gonna see if I can get my daughter and her best friend after school tomorrow, because I'm sure. Go ahead.
No, I have never heard a woman of color in my personal life say they felt empowered by Hillary Clinton becoming the first female president. I've never heard that from anyone. I don't know if, that might just be me. Maybe I don't hang out. I've never heard a white woman say that either. For the people the white women in my life.
I had one friend who said that who is a woman who said that if Hillary Clinton was elected, mind you, she voted for Joe Stein, she would break down in tears because there was a woman president, and that is historic. And I can see that narrative. I can see that line, right? Even black folks who didn't vote for Obama were like, man, there's a black president right now. Like, this is a cool thing. I didn't think I'd live to see this.
Crocodile tears.
Except for the fact, I think the difference, I really do think the difference, and women, I really do think the difference has been that white women in their proximity to the white men in their lives, if they've had a certain economic standing and status, whether it's their fathers, their husbands, or their brothers, they have still afforded a certain, even though there were certain oppressions or whatever, as a white woman, if you're a privileged heiress and British, because I love Downton Abbey and stuff like that, and you have like your stipend or whatever to live off of, you're still doing a lot better than the chick that's selling the little roses in the gutter. I mean, you can't own property, but you still got your stipend every year. So it's like levels to it, right? And like I keep saying, corporate feminism does not trickle down. I've been saying this the entire time. Oh, a feminist, you got to do this. This woman is not a feminist. She's a hermanist. She's her focus. Okay, and everybody like her.
I say this all the time. It's just like when you have rich white women feminism, what you get is something that is indistinguishable from classism and racism. It's almost indistinguishable from those things, except for the fact that it also pays lip service to women.
But is it there's a direct
nothing deeply feminist. There's nothing deeply feminist about one. I mean, obviously it calls on the same structures, but there's nothing deeply feminist about wanting a female lawyer to be paid equal to her male lawyer counterpart. Like that doesn't change the system. I mean,
here's my other problem, right? Here's my other problem with the equal pay. Like I've already said, is equal pay is a shitty argument to me anyway, because if we're not talking about equal pay in race and gender, right? Because you look at some estimates, Black men are making the same as white women, and Hispanic men are making slightly less. So Black men and Hispanic men might make more than Black women and Hispanic women, but they're not always necessarily making more than white women. So while white women are out there championing the fight, and because even think back to Patricia Arquette, right? Like Patricia Arquette and her statement, the year before last Oscars, she was the perfect example of what is wrong with this brand of white feminism that has taken root right now. I mean, that is what drove this entire election cycle, and that is the problem. You know, you had the bastardization of identity politics and intersectionality because, you know, there were people who could write little talking points and stuff for Hillary Clinton and some of her surrogates. But you have, this is what happens when Lena Dunham and what's the other one? The one that acts like she's, the girls that act like they fat, but they really not fat. They just regular sized women.
Right. Amy Schumer got fat faces. They got round faces.
They're just regular sized women. You're not special, boo. You're not even cute. And I'm sure Odell Beckham still don't know who you are.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to touch on, though, was that Odell Beckham Jr. thing, because that's one of the things that I've been really getting tired of, especially out here in a predominantly white area with white feminism, is the fact that it's incredibly goddamn racist. It contributes to the sexual violence towards Black men. It can Rosewood, for fuck's sake. I mean, for real. Have people forgotten about Rosewood? I
know we talked about this earlier in the evening, but Faso beat Teach out by 54% to 46%. And I really do. I agree with you guys. Even though Hillary Clinton may have won that state of New York, I really do think having her at the top of the ticket, I really do think the way that the party tried to go right was detrimental. We've been saying this. Hubris is a motherfucker. I'm just gonna keep saying. And I apologize to listeners and stuff for cursing, because usually we try not to. But this is cataclysmic.
I just feel like there was so much more bullying going on within the Democratic Party than there was going on within the Republican Party. I feel like the Republican Party, for all of its, the claims of it being virulent, and it is, being dangerous, they handled things a little bit better internally than the Democratic Party did. Forget about their external bullying towards everyone who was different from them. But the Democratic Party shot themselves in the foot by by making their own voting base feel like shit. Why would you do that? But forget about making the America feel like shit in general, or making Black people or Muslims or gay people feel like shit. You decided to attack your own voting population. Why would you do that? I mean, forget it. I guess obviously I'm not a fan of Islamophobia or homophobia or any other types of hate speech. But if you're going to hate somebody, don't hate yourself. It's don't do that. I don't understand. The Democratic Party was so. But I'm sorry, but just 1 second. They were so desperate to make Hillary Clinton seem like the adult decision that they tried to present everyone who had a legitimate argument against her as a child.
Here's the thing about it, and this was really encapsulated at the DNC, and I feel like I know we keep going back to this, but I mean, I think that's really where you see it happening, is they painted progressives to be the enemy. Mm-hmm. That was when you really understood that within the Democratic Party, those who truly espoused the principles that the Democratic Party is supposed to stand by, we had become the enemy. When you see David Petraeus coming on and giving speeches, when you see Republican after Republican after Republican after Republican coming on the stage at the DNC, singing the laurels of Hillary Clinton, and the blind admiration that the crowd has for no other reason than her last name is Clinton. And in many cases, for no other reason than that she happens to be a woman. And that was one of the things that I heard said to so many women delegates was, how can you be against Hillary Clinton? You're a woman.
Well, that happened to us. Well, that happened to us all throughout the primary too, right? Because I mean, I the first time I'm plugging my interviews, I'm about to pull up all my receipts. Yeah, I'm taking the day off to do that shit too. But no, seriously though, the first time I was on the air with Canadian Broadcast, same show I'm be on in the morning at 8 a.m. I'll put that link up. Oh yeah. Anyway, but seriously though, the first time I had this older Hillary. So our issue are boomers, right? Who are if you're millennial boomers or the older Gen X or your parents' age, but But you know, the issue is boomers, and the issue is also entitled white women. And this woman, I would respectfully let her have her time, whatever. And my dad, who doesn't always necessarily like my approach, he was so angry when he listened to it. He was like, she is talking about how women this and women that and feminism, but she's yelling over you every chance she gets. And, you know, I spoke about my experience as a young mother in college, you know, receiving, you know, benefits and aid and working my way through school and stuff. And this woman proceeded to tell me about how I owed her and Hillary Clinton. Now, this woman's a housewife, didn't work, was living in like, I can't remember, somewhere outside of DC. So somewhere that you clearly need to have money to live. And it's just like, you don't know me, you know nothing about my struggle. And this was the problem though. They assumed that because of whatever, you know, they went through when college was like $600 a semester is comparable to what we're experiencing now. You know, I'm saddled with student loan debt. I don't blame anybody for that, but that's my reality. And I'm raising two kids, you know what I'm saying? My partner is a union iron worker, and we can't necessarily always afford for him to even work in the state where we live because the wages are so damn low in the South. So, I mean, we got real issues that people are dealing with here in America. You know, I'm a federal employee. I'm going to put it out there. Any of y'all narc on me like you did Mount Running, I'm coming for you. All right? Like, you come at me, you come at me with some BS hatch stuff. I mean, we going to have some issues. But anyway, it's late. I'm punch drunk. You know what I'm saying?
But here's the thing.
But the last thing I'm going to say, I'm just going to say this one last thing, though. Hillary Clinton speaks from a position of privilege and doesn't understand the struggles of what it is to be a real working mother. She's always been in a position of privilege that has been far removed from what we experience. You know, for Hillary Clinton to tout the benefits of FMLA, yeah, FMLA is cool if you don't even have it, but that's 10 weeks unpaid leave. If you want to, if you want to have a child, because we don't have maternity leave in my agency, if you want to have a child, you either have to take a pay deduction and stretch out your paycheck, use your sick leave, so you can't use your sick leave for nothing else, or you just got to take 10 weeks unpaid leave to stay home with your child. So your family's income is cut for those 10 weeks, and you've increased your income burden, your cost burden because you've had a baby. Not that I'm not trying to handle my babies. Mine are almost grown, but you get what I'm saying. And this is a problem because we have an elite group of women that see themselves in her, that have rallied around and tried to bring us. So it's aspirational politics happening here instead of folks dealing with what's going on in the real world. And no, Trump is not going to make anything better for any of that stuff. But what we need to understand is that we got to do it ourselves. Like Brandon said earlier, this is chickens coming home to roost. I'm going to post some Malcolm X on Twitter while we talking.
No, but I hope that people actually take that to heart, though. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with the white privilege, rich privilege, whatever privilege you want, that you're not ever forced to come to account for anything. And I think that's what we've seen this entire. I said it when Ben was still on the show. I was like, this is people holding Hillary Clinton accountable for what she was doing, man. That's all this is. And I'm on HuffPo right now, and the big title is on the brink of what she lost. Largely because of you. Right. Like Hillary Clinton largely lost because no one wanted to hold her accountable up until the last minute.
Nobody wanted to hold her accountable. No one wanted to hold. Was sexism.
For all the talk of holding people's feet to the. For all the talk of holding people's feet to the fire, no one wanted to do it when it would actually have mattered. And fire tempers. Fire doesn't just burn; it tempers things. So she wasn't forced to be tempered through the primary. She wasn't put through anything. And I have to blame Bernie Sanders for that too. He didn't bring it to her hot enough. It's like at the end of the day, that did a big disservice to Clinton, man. It's like they thought that giving it to her too hot would make her seem weak, but it would have just tempered her. It would have made her, like, if she could have overcome it early.
Do we want to find Trump's concession speech, or do we just want to keep talking?
You mean
Trump actually lost?
Concession. I'm so sorry. See, I'm tired and I'm punch drunk.
I was going to say, I would make sure that the vote didn't flip overnight like it did in 2004. Because remember, Kerry won Ohio 2004, and then all of a sudden we woke up in the morning and it was like, nah. So
and I don't know that, and I think I had this conversation, and I really think that maybe more of us would have been more inclined to support Hillary Clinton had there been some reckoning, right? Had there been some acknowledgement of something more than just we won. Don't nobody likes a sore winner, right? We got sore losers, but then you got WikiLeaks that proves everything, and these people are still when they mad that the truth came out, because you would have rather had your queen than have the truth. I mean, I do think that there is a question what cost is the truth, but at the same time, knowing the uphill battle, knowing the information that came out, they all doubled down and lied. They just continued to lie, even though information came
here's the thing
out.
about here's the frustrating. I'm sorry. Here's the frustrating thing. They're going to triple down once this is over and still not acknowledge that they fucked up. And
but
that is what
we've seen every single time. This is nothing new. This is what I have come to expect from the political elite and from the wealthy elite. But Hillary Clinton in particular, it's Amy Schumer and all them all over again saying, you know, we white people, when she said we white people were stuck by you through the civil rights movement and stuff, now it's time for people of color to stand behind us while we try to get equal pay for equal work.
It's just funny. I'm going to try and do a screen share real quick with you guys. This is hilarious from the Humanist Report, just real quick. You know, I usually don't. I guess if everyone can see that, it's hilarious. It's Trump. You know, this is his victory party. Everyone's happy except for him. He's like, woosah. He's like, I shouldn't have made Melania change her vote.
Wait a minute, though. Let's talk about something else. Didn't Trump not have any ground game organization? Wasn't he not getting donations from the mega donors?
Blame the mainstream media.
What I'm saying is, man beat Hillary Clinton with nothing. He beat her with nothing.
Because she's the world's worst candidate ever.
I just want to say, like, one of my
anybody else could have won.
Shout out to advocate and, you know, political consultant down here, Ashlyn Shockley. Ashlyn said on Twitter to me, she said, we need an agenda and attainable goals, and we have to stop giving our votes away. I absolutely agree. She also said, compromise isn't a bad word. Leaders have to serve the people, not special interests. That's where we start. I think that's right. I mean, I think we really need to be thinking critically about what we do, what are our demands, and where are we going. And we can't sit here. I think one thing that bothered me, though, a lot coming out of the DNC was there were people who felt that it was valuable because Trump was just so bad that they were going to support Hillary Clinton for that reason. But I do agree that people just gave their votes away as soon as Bernie pulled out. But on the flip side, I think there was a lot of demonizing, you know, of people unnecessarily. I mean, you don't have to agree with the way someone's voting. But, and I do agree with calling people out who were overly like, oh my God, yes, she's so great. Forget everything we said 2 months ago. Because, you know, people like Dallas did that. And I'm just like, dude, like a week ago, you said something completely different. But, like, you know, I mean, it's wild. It's real crazy. Like someone just shared a picture of, you know, general election matchups from, I think it was April. Bernie Sanders was expected to be at 54% to 39% of Trump. And Clinton was 46-43 and then 50-39. So
they're getting ready to call Wisconsin soon. And once Trump wins that, it's over.
Done. If he wins, it's been done. They just finished dragging it out. Yo, it's not even 52 on the map for her. Like, I mean, how?
Somewhere Nick Silver's time to move.
Like how?
HuffPo and their 98.6% chance. Just shut down, man. HuffPo needs to shut down. Just shut down tomorrow.
HuffPo just need to turn it over to Progressive Army and let us handle things. Real quick. Somebody said Don Walsh needs to resign, retire, and remove yourself from decent society.
That's an open question. Aren't you feel embarrassed though? Don't they have any shame?
Nope.
Like Ben Jealous and Jonathan Capehart and Bacardi Sellers and Joyanne Reed, don't they have any shame?
No.
Matthew Iglesias,
not at all.
Ezra Klein. These aren't you guys embarrassed, dude? Yo, just stop. You need to go home and have a long look in the mirror because this is all your fault. Like when it was time to be a responsible adult, you couldn't do it.
Yeah. Not at all. It's just ridiculous.
And when I'm telling you to be responsible, you need to really understand you've fucked up.
Oh, wait. Here we go. If you look at Tom Hartman's website for his show, The Big Picture, this is the kind of headlines he has. Is the FBI really Trump land? James Comey, the man.
I mean, so can we talk about that? Can we talk about that for a little bit too? Like the FBI thing, the FBI thing was really stupid. I mean, I'm gonna get into it. FBI thing was really stupid because when everybody's like, oh my God, the FBI is biased. Oh my God, the FBI is like white racist men. duh, where the hell you been? Like, you don't think the people that J. Edgar Hoover had in there didn't train somebody else who's still there? Like,
Right.
what are you talking about? The FBI murdered black people.
The
We
Black
have city
Panther Party's
police.
gone.
I mean, Mark Clark and Fred Hampton were murdered with Chicago PD. You think the FBI didn't help do that? Like seriously, our country has been murdering people, has been destroying a possibility and hope and optimism globally and at home for generations. You just now getting the message that it's crooked? Like,
I mean,
where the hell y'all been at?
On top of that, let's not forget
though.
the FBI coordinated with the local police forces to help break up the Occupy Wall Street movement.
Yes,
Here's the thing, though, is it's not real to white people until it happens to white people. Like, period.
And
until
even
it
then,
happened to
it's
Hillary
50-50. It's even 50-50 then.
Well, Trump happened to white
Yeah,
people.
that's true.
Let's see if it's real now.
He's
Trump
I have a
happened.
friend, so one of my friends from Australia
happened
shared
all the way
this.
to
She
the
says, so many statuses on voting candidates, the anticipation, but I have to share that personally, the election is hard to watch overseas. One is a time difference and following everything while at work. And then also I voted from overseas. So if you are in the US, you have no excuse not to drive somewhere and put pen to paper. Secondly, in another country where they don't fully understand and appreciate the significance of the election and the way voting rights in America have evolved since the Constitution was first enacted, it is an exhaustive process to explain to everyone how cray-cray America is. I'm paraphrasing. And then she said, lastly, a campaign is an exhausting and calculating journey, which you need to appreciate to understand, who wins and why they were successful. It's not just who's the lesser of evil campaign, but on a constitutional level is an amazing event to watch and be a part of. Proud to be an American and have a constitution that provides a Bill of Rights to its people and allow free speech in the honor of voting. That's all for now. She's of Indian descent. So I'll definitely be interested in catching up with her and a couple other friends who are overseas. Right. I have another friend who's abroad living in Germany. He's been saying for months that Hillary, he's a half Mexican American. He's been saying Hillary is a disaster. And it's just really interesting. I just think back to my own kids, right? And one of the things my daughter said to me was, it's not just, I've asked my kids, do they think that this Trump effect thing has affected them where they go to school? And my son has, commented that there are some kids, but not really. But he said he is worried because he has a friend who's Palestinian. He has friends who are Mexican. He has quite a few Mexican friends, but he is concerned. He is concerned that his friends who are Mexican, that they or their parents or both or all of the above, whatever, that their families will be deported. And it's not like he's sitting there agonizing over it, but it's something that I don't think that I, as a 12-year-old, would have ever thought about. My daughter, on the other hand, her experience as a woke, so woke black magical girl in the 10th grade, she has issues with problematic kids and their parents. Some of them are Trump supporters, some of them are Hillary Clinton supporters, right? She's had issues with kids whose parents supported Bernie Sanders. I mean, so we have issues that aren't just neatly aligned behind one candidate. Yes, Donald Trump, and I bet you bottom dollar Bill Clinton somewhere is like, dude, if you turn up that racist stick, because in an article today or yesterday, Hillary Clinton said that they who knew him were surprised at how racist he was sounding on the campaign trail, almost as if it was an act, right? To some extent. Right.
Oh, it is an act. I don't think anyone who's smart believes that Trump is as racist as he's pretending. Like I don't believe, man. I will double down. I don't think Trump is as racist as Bill Clinton is.
I agree. I would agree with that. But it's the member berries, bruh. Like, have you not been watching South Park?
Oh, I love that episode. Yay, somebody else will get to remember Star Wars, remember.
Like, that's
when we were safe.
It's that nostalgia. It is literally, Trump harkens to the days when you could be as racist as you wanted and nobody could say. David Duke, for fuck's sake, had a debate at an HBCU. David goddamn Duke. Come on now.
Here's the thing. I think that's unfair. I think that a lot of I think that more than just being the party of race, the candidate of racism.
There are states where all the Bright and Bernie ballots push Trump over the top. You helped elect him. Bright and Bernie did not count anywhere.
I'm sorry to use language like that, but if you think that, suck my dick, man. I can't handle that.
I'm not gonna lie, like
it's 2 o'clock. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. But let me finish my thought.
Ben is gonna be like, I'm not gonna let you guys. You guys are gonna get my access to the channel taken away.
No one's watching this. No one's watching this. I'm 25.
We got 90 people watching. Hey, what's going on? Okay, did anyone mention in choices of running mates? Yeah, I mean, I think Pence maybe gave Trump a better boost than Kane definitely did. I mean, and we see the same thing as in 2000. This is like 2000 all of a sudden. Who didn't know Hillary?
Ohio and Florida. Like I think Pence put her over the top in the Midwest, and he won Florida for him.
You mean Kane?
No. Tim Kaine was a disadvantage. Pence won Trump Ohio, and Pence won Trump the Midwest, and he won him Florida. Because while Trump is a demagogue, Pence has those hardline conservative bona fides that Trump could lean on, and that played well, especially in the Midwest with the former governor of Indiana. He's right next to Ohio. Michigan's not that far away, and Pennsylvania's also there.
And he appeals to that evangelical, really conservative base, right? Like, he is a nicer, milder Cruz. Like, Cruz is crazy. Ted Cruz, like I said.
Cruz is a Zodiac killer. Like, period.
Mosquito Valentine said, I voted for Jill in Ohio, and I'm fairly certain it didn't affect the margin that much. I mean, same here in Georgia. Like, all that hype about all these states that are supposed to be going blue. See, that's the problem. Y'all let these people gas you up, and the media has been colluding and lying to us for over a year. Like, blame mainstream media. They're the ones that gave this idiot I mean, he got more channel time, channel time. He got more airtime than their own candidate, right? Like, but I really do think. Oh yeah, I'm giving a shout out because, like I said, tomorrow night on Way with Anoa, I'll be joined by Marcus Farrell, former director of African American Outreach for Bernie Sanders campaign. We're gonna be chopping up. We're also gonna talk about a new project we're working on. Impact. Check us out on Twitter. Impact us. MPACTUS. It's a lot coming down. It's a lot coming down the pipeline. And nah, this ain't no Our Revolution Insider, we're all kumbaya stuff. This ain't no, brand new Congress stuff. I mean, this is real grassworks. Get that work, build it with the people type of organizing happening. So check it out.
Here's the thing. Donald Trump was the candidate of grievance, not just racial grievance, but every kind of grievance. He was the Brit candidate. He was the candidate of the Eminem candidate. The I don't know why I'm angry, or I do know why I'm angry, and I have no other recourse to address my grievances.
Someone said Ed Schultz is freaking out right now over Clinton refusing to give a concession speech. He says it's the ultimate disrespect to her supporters, the epitome of arrogance.
When the Democratic Party refused to give a voice to populism in their own party, they enhanced the voice of Trump's populism. When you refuse to have socialist populism or something that resembles socialist populism, let's be honest, Bernie Sanders was never as socialist as people thought he was. It is what it is.
It's conservative.
You give rise to the uglier forms of populism.
Yep.
When you tell people, it's like Stokely Carmichael said, when you won't give people a seat at the table, you force them to flip it over. And the only people who don't understand that are the privileged people who think that you should be forced to starve. And so, like, ultimately, I see this as something that, it's a very big lesson for the establishment, for the privilege, for people who can't understand why poor people just can't be satisfied with what they have because they deserve it. Trump is a big middle finger to the wealthy elite in America, and they deserve it, I guess. You get what you deserve, don't you?
I mean, but they don't. What do they care? What is the wealthy really? What do they care? Okay, they don't get the president. I mean, everyone has already said that the presidency don't really matter anyway because they got Congress. They got Congress on lock.
Not necessarily the super wealthy, not necessarily like the 1% super elite, but I'm talking about the sort of amorphous oligarchy, that top 10-20% of America who have been enriched and enhanced by the status quo. They may not be the super rich, but they live well off. They're the upper middle class. They're the pundit class. They're your Tom Hartmans. They're your people who out there who for them, the suffering of the poor, the minority, the Yemenis, the Somali, or whatever country we're in illegal drone wars in, the Pakistani, those are just academic pursuits. Like
Right.
there is a substantial part of American society that has a platform that is not rich, but that suffering for them is an academic pursuit. It's something that they read about in books and something that happens to other people, and they don't think about it as something that could ever happen to them. And for those people, Trump is a big middle finger because that's the oligarchy. Those are the people who can't really understand the consequences of the status quo because they don't really affect them.
Well, here we talked a lot about revisionist history, right? And how people who aren't around are quick to go back. And we also talked about how some Bernie folks have gone over to Trump. I was on Facebook a week or so ago. A friend of mine, a white teacher friend of mine, was down in Mississippi. And she had posted about going to a few of the different landmarks.
So I'm just saying, they're saying that New York Times just called it Republicans also have 50 in the Senate.
Yep.
Too bad Bernie wasn't electable.
Yep.
Van Jones is already on TV blaming Russia.
What?
But I mean, we had that conversation, and within the
Van
post,
Jones for no reason. Everybody's been cutting for Van Jones for a long time, and I've been saying it. Now that dude's an operative.
You have, especially when he was crying about Prince, because y'all know how much I love Prince. When he cried about Prince, I was like, oh, yeah, all our faves are problematic.
I mean, so we're having the conversation.
I don't got no friends. I don't got no favorite. I'm my own favorite. Benjamin Dixon Show. Benjamin Dixon Show channel is the only channel you should be watching. The only channel you should be subscribed to. Delete all your subscriptions to Tom Hartman and every other progressive media source because they failed you. Everyone failed you, but the Benjamin Dixon Show channel and its associated channels. Like if you in the chat right now, you are the smartest people on the planet because you knew where the right information was coming from, and you decided to stick with this, and you made the right choice. Everyone else, the people out there who are watching TYT right now, no offense, TYT, if you're watching us, I'm looking for a job. That's real cool, but they failed you. They didn't tell you the truth.
Soledad O'Brien just tweeted that Corey Lewandowski is on TV saying that this is what the American people wanted, and it was someone who told the truth. And she said this is truly the failure of journalism because please no one challenged him on this at all. And shout out to Soledad O'Brien. I mean, she hasn't been like. I mean, yeah, and she's been grinding and doing her own thing or whatever. But at the same time, I mean, she's absolutely right. I think while we've been upset with the mainstream media for the way they've come down on certain things, several people pointed this out actually when Donna got cut loose from CNN. I mean, Corey is a mouthpiece, and I mean, it's been so problematic with him around, and yet he's still there. So, I mean, there's a whole lot of problems. CNN and MSNBC, CBS, they don't give a shit because they got their ratings. You know what I'm saying? They getting their checks, and they'll be okay because they have their fancy bunkers and their bubbles and their spaceships ready to go to the moon. So yeah, I watch a lot of sci-fi. Sorry,
somebody else was talking about what is the Clinton's power now? Is the Clinton machine still powerful? And I said no. This is broken.
Really, it's not.
Nobody's going to give money to that. Yeah, nobody's going to give money to that foundation anymore because they're not going to be able to get favors from the government anymore. All the connections that they built, all the favors that they burned, and they basically have nothing to show for it. They got their ass whooped.
Yep, definitely.
So, that brand is done.
I mean, even the fact that Podesta, right? You could tell, like someone tweeted to me because folks listening to me say she gonna take Bill out. I mean, they didn't even show up at their own, you didn't even show up to speak to the people who have been your greatest supporters and stuff like that. Right. Like that's slimy. Like that is wrong. You know what I'm saying? They sent out Podesta. Like really Podesta? Like Podesta he's the idiot that had the whack email account that got hacked. Who the hell clicks on a fake link and gets hacked when you got sensitive information in your email? Like what the hell is wrong with you people? Trump is an idiot, but they even dumber, and they're gonna send Podesta out there. That's all, folks.
I have a pet theory, and it goes with that picture you showed us from Kyle Kulinski, friend of Kyle Kulinski, the other guy. Human Report. Yeah, Mike Figueroa. Don't unsubscribe from Secular Talk or Mike or Human Report. You can keep watching them. Unsubscribe from the same progressive though. If you have not yet. I'm sorry. I'm throwing mad ass shade tonight. It's 2:15 in the morning. Anyway, my point is
Ivan is laughing. He said, "But you telling him to unsubscribe from everyone."
I mean, no. So I have a pet theory, and it's like everyone's pretending.
Obama's got the last laugh. Yo, on some ways, I mean, like for real though, did Barry and Michelle set her ass up? Like, did they set her up for the woo woo? Like. Because, I mean, like, they could have organized and activated OFA. Like, seriously, I mean, because that's what they said. The Obama coalition was going to save her, right? Did Michelle not activate folks' information? Like, what did not happen? They thought they were just going to parade all the
Now they're
celebrities
telling
out there.
me, I'm still getting text messages by people talking about the third parties didn't help. It's like, well, what do you mean didn't help? They're not entitled. You're not entitled to votes you're not entitled to other people's votes. I don't understand.
I think we had an interesting dynamic here because Anoa just said that like she thought Donald Trump was dumb, and then like that picture of him where he's touching his temple, going, "Oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to win this." Like I think the exact opposite is true. I don't think America underestimated Donald Trump. I think Donald Trump overestimated America. I think that he didn't try at all, really. I think his performance in the debates, the main debates, was hilariously poor for anybody, really, especially someone who has media training, like who's actually had a show and read some scripts before. Like I think that he didn't try pretty much at all to be anything other than the most over the top character he could be, and he still won. And
Wait a minute.
I think he
That's an underestimation on Clinton's part.
No, I don't think Trump wanted to win. I think he overestimated America's intelligence.
I don't think he wanted to win either. But I think that
okay. So they are like we said. It's been officially. It's from what I'm seeing and reported to me through all my little chatters. It's being officially reported for Trump. God, Donald Trump is now our president. So
President Cheeto.
Can we just talk about this? Because all like Biff. Like when you think about Back to the Future, the character Biff was based on Biff Rules the World, and it's total freaking chaos. Biff Rules the World. He was a character based, they said, on Donald Trump. There is an episode of The Simpsons with Donald Trump either running or as president. There's been a couple of fictitious displays of Donald Trump as president. And Donald Trump is most likely president.
Cole's law.
Look,
Cole's law at a certain
as
point.
strange as it sounds.
Like and like everybody who's blaming, like seriously, he beat her by over 1 million votes, right?
Yeah.
Like nationwide, popular vote wise.
I got Poe's law. At a certain point, satire becomes indistinguishable from reality.
Like had folks not voted for Gary Johnson, he probably would have beat her by even more. Like let's just be real.
That's my biggest beef this election cycle with people complaining about the third party. Is everyone's harping on those of us who voted for Joe Stein. Almost everybody I know that voted for Jill in either a safe blue or a safe red state, where it did not matter if they voted for the for Clinton or Trump. People voted for Gary Johnson. What
are the swing states? Because she lost all of them, right?
Right. So I mean,
Ohio, Pennsylvania, Florida. She lost all the majors, all that she had to win swing states.
She lost
them.
Yeah,
and that's a result of her poor ground game. People have been talking about that. The ground game.
Right.
You should have been listening to us when we were telling you. Like, okay, everyone said the big rallies didn't really mean much with Bernie. Maybe they did, and maybe there was more of that finger leaning on the scale than they want to admit. But even if the big rallies didn't mean anything. Teeny tiny rallies, no one showing up to see you, no enthusiasm. Yeah, y'all kept pushing back on the where's the enthusiasm gap. There was a serious enthusiasm gap. They had a serious problem. Their party, their campaign was fragmented and had problems. They're not do the outreach and engagement they need to. She wants to joke around about hot sauce in her damn bag and stuff like that. And y'all trying to tell us that we're supposed to vote for her anyway. Nah, I live in Georgia. He beat her by over 10 points in Georgia. Ain't no amount of Jill Stein 30 party votes down here in Georgia would have won her Georgia. She wasn't winning the South. They ain't even organized. I don't even think that she's even been down here since in the past couple of months. Like nowhere in the South. Right. Like let's be real.
Well, she wrote off the South, and that's what you would have expected from any Democratic nominee. She wrote off the South as well. Trump is going to win. She played on Tim Kaine winning her Virginia. She lost that bet. She won that bet, but barely.
She barely won
winning her Virginia and parlaying that into a win in North Carolina based on Trump's blatant racism without taking into account that she has to actually go in and do ground game. She has to go in and put in that work. But at the same time, I have to look at it like this. We say that Trump didn't want to win, right? We say, yeah, no, Trump didn't really care. He wasn't really trying. It's an underestimation on Clinton's part, right? That they said in those emails, they elevated him. That's who they wanted to run. They wanted to run against Trump. They felt that if he just ran, she could win hands down, and she wouldn't even really have to try. And that's why she lost.
Mm-hmm.
That is the reason why she lost, is because she thought, I will win simply because I'm running against somebody else. Therefore, they will vote against him, and by doing so, vote for me. But I mean, Gary Johnson ended up saving her from an embarrassment of a landslide, loss in a bunch of states. He literally took votes away from Donald Trump, and supporters are still complaining about Jill Stein. And it just stop. Just stop. Admit you lost. Your candidate did not do the work. Your candidate expected people to roll over and fall in line because it was their turn. That's not how this works.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this, you're right. This isn't how this works. And, someone said to me, well, how was Donald Trump's ground game? Donald Trump did not have to have, his campaign did not have to have a structured ground game for the same reason Bernie Sanders didn't have to have a structured ground game, right? Like, the grassroots Trump supporters made sure they showed out. But not just that, people underestimated how people were so disgusted. People were very disgusted with this election cycle. They were very disgusted with their choices and felt that she was a liar and voted against her. Instead of voting against Trump based on fear, they voted against her because they thought she was a liar.
Remember, though, we just came off of a surge of people trying to get some kind of change to address some problems. And after 8 years of that change that was supposed to address those problems were never solved. In fact, for many people, they got worse. And so, and the label that those problems are under now, since they weren't actually changed, that label is now a Democratic label. So like we were fighting on uneven ground to begin with. Not everybody had a fair shot because they're saying, well, you already had your chance. And all these problems that you were supposed to address, you never did. And so basically this election was the chickens come home to roost. The only way for Democrats to really avoid that was to go with somebody like Bernie Sanders and radically change their brand. But they said, no, they're going to double down with this bullshit and put up the person that epitomizes everything wrong with the party and just say, well, she's always going to be better than any Republican. And to be honest with you, objectively, that's just not true. Right. But on top of that, you have to deal with the fact that people that voted for you last time now feel demoralized because you didn't do shit for them. And then on top of that, your political opponents are energized because they want to get rid of you. And then there's people that are motivated by the fact that they're suffering these problems and they see you and your brand as the source of those problems. So you have all those things swinging against Hillary Clinton, and yet somehow, just because she's not Donald Trump, she's supposed to win.
Did David Duke lose?
I don't know if David Duke lost. I would assume he won. But as much I love you guys all, I really do. But I've got a lab at 9 a.m. and it's spectroscopy, so I'm actually going to head off to bed, folks. But
good night, Adair. I think we'll hang out for a little bit longer and then probably call it too.
All right.
But thank you so much for kicking it. And yeah, we're going to continue having these conversations, folks. And I know we've been just, shooting the breeze and talking trash now, but seriously, I mean, we're here, Benjamin Dixon Show's here Monday through Thursday, 9 to 10. I'm here on the way with Anoa Wednesdays. I switched to Wednesdays. The Project Sanity is on Thursday night. You guys are moving to 8 to 9?
I believe so. And this Friday, David Cobb has agreed to sit down and talk with us about where we go from here.
Oh, okay.
And getting a third party elected. So look forward to that, folks. Yeah. We'll be here for the next 4 years, and we'll be your best alternative to the Trump News Network. So please make sure y'all stay tuned in. I'm out, y'all.
Yeah. Night.
Good night.
So is it true that Clinton is not going to concede tonight?
Yeah, that's what I've seen.
I don't think that she should. I mean, it is pretty late at this point. I mean, I can understand that it's kind of a dish, but
No, go ahead and put that concession in. She didn't do it because it's too late. She didn't do it because she didn't want to accept the reality. She got her ass whooped. That's okay. Sometimes there's no words between winners and losers. I understand that. I've been on both sides of it. But she got done. That's all I can say.
She got done up hard. Like, it's not even close.
Can we just go through? Obama won Ohio in 2012. Obama won Maryland. Wait, she lost Maryland? No, she won Maryland.
She won Maryland.
Then why is it red on this map?
Oh, that map must be incorrect.
It's the Washington Post. Of course, it's incorrect. But okay, yeah, here it goes. Ohio was Democrat. She lost Ohio. He won Ohio. She won Colorado, won Nevada. She lost Florida. He won Florida. She's still losing Michigan, it seems like. He won Michigan. She lost PA. He won PA. Yeah, like, Iowa. I mean, she's, Iowa. He won Iowa. Like, so. Oh, that's Pennsylvania. Yeah, Pennsylvania flipped since the last presidential election. Yeah, this is like problematic, and it's not just so easy to just write off and say, well, America's racist. I mean, you also had America's racist and a really bad candidate who's also doesn't have unclean hands. It wasn't like she had unclean hands though in all of this either, right?
Well, I mean, I'm sorry, this is America's Brexit vote, right? This is just the American equivalent to the Brexit vote. And people who thought that the Brexit vote was entirely motivated by racism just simply didn't understand the Brexit vote. They didn't understand they didn't understand the complexity that the neoliberal agenda has. I'm sorry, the complex series of problems that the neoliberal agenda has created to stand against it. And that's what this is. This is the neoliberal agenda has created a coalition of people who have been disenfranchised by that agenda, and now this is that group.
Somebody said HRC is crying and raging right now. Her eyes are too red for her to concede. Thank you. Someone, Anastasia said, hey all, I missed you guys. Such great commentary. I love when you all are together. Yo, we appreciate being able to do this for you guys. And provide some, kicking it with you. I just don't think, I don't know. Like, I don't know. And I mean, does Hillary Clinton try to make a go of it in 4 years? Does she try a third time? Third time's a charm. I mean, didn't you run up against...
She's already too much like Mitt Romney. She's already too much like Mitt Romney. She got to stop.
She's too old. She's too old. That time is up. This was it for her. Their power is gone. They've got nothing. She's got a bad history. Her power base is pretty much fractured as far as people donating to her because she's no longer a sure bet. On top of that, she has a likability problem and a charisma issue, and she's lost 2 contests. There's no way she can mount any type of bid. And that's on top of her health problems and her age. This is it. Nah, America's not gonna have no one president as in she's gonna be HRC. That's a done deal. It's already over.
One of my ladies from Women for Burning back in the day, shout out to Women for Burning, now Women for Justice, just sent us a message. She said, I need a hug. So I'm gonna give everybody a hug who's feeling sad. Hug. Okay, now pull yourself up. pull yourself up. Get together because we got some. It's gonna be a work slowdown tomorrow. The markets have already been crashing. One of my friends said we're gonna start the revolution. Well, you should have voted for Bernie. Like, y'all killing me now. Like, all these Hillary supporters upset now because she lost. We told you she was a crappy ass candidate. And the problem is, all of us who are pro Bernie could tell you and list out why she was bad. Well.
Nick, why are you throwing shade on all of our progressive cohorts on YouTube? Why are you throwing shade?
So I have to ask
folks are asking why. No, her health problems are not a legit reason not to vote for her. Yo, I mean, because in 4 years she'll be as old as Bernie was when he started. So if Bernie was too old, so will she be, right? So like, we need to groom main pass rank. Did they main pass rank choice voting? Yay. That's a bright side. Brandon said to unsub, same progressive. Hey, y'all do what you want to do. I actually said that earlier in the show. I said that like 5 hours ago. But that's just me.
I was obviously being
to my timeline. So
I was obviously being hyperbolic about unsubbing to all your favorite progressive channels. If you couldn't understand I was being hyperbolic, I don't know what to tell you, man. Except for I wasn't.
What does Trump say? I don't know that. Does Trump have a stance on marijuana? Here's the problem too, right? People let's talk about how dumb America is. He don't even have a real platform on a lot of stuff.
That's so true.
Okay, the death jokes aren't funny anymore, guys. They are, but they're not. But yeah, we have to start, like, seriously. I understand, like, people are frustrated. It's like overwhelming, but we really got to work on 2018 now. We got to work on 2018 now. We need to identify, like a brand new Congress has a slate of candidates. Like I said, go check out. We're still working on our website. Impact Us, MPACT Us on Twitter and on Facebook. Looking at grassroots organizing and helping communities build and develop the capacity and access to be able to mount real meaningful political engagement, not just, as Nina Turner corrected me earlier, not just in the off cycle, because there is no off cycle. We are always on. So we always on, and it might be exhausting, but y'all gotta, eat up, stay strong. If you gotta tap out and tap someone else in, do that. This is a buddy system. Progressivism and organizing ain't for the faint of heart. I know a lot of us work during the day and organize at night. We gotta do what we gotta do. Trump won't make America great again, then he's fucked. Yeah, I mean, but America's pretty great, right?
Just relax. Go out with a nice girl or a nice boy or a nice someone in between or none of the above.
It's official, POTUS Trump.
Yeah, because he just won Wisconsin, right? Yeah, Wisconsin's gonna.
Did he? Okay.
Just 29 hours. Like if he didn't win, he's gonna win like in 35 seconds. So like it's
he's gonna win in 35 seconds.
It's a done deal, bro.
Yo, how did you lose all these states that Obama won? Like
Wisconsin is called. This is it. Buccini pouring from the sky. This is it. What? Sorry.
I was listening to that earlier.
Why you don't know Camp Below?
I was listening to that song earlier.
Who's Buccini by Camp Below? I've never heard anyone who knows that song.
276 to 218. We need to get these receipts ready. Like seriously. We need to get these receipts ready because folks are gonna be trying our lives out here. He beat her by I want to hear you sing. We are the champions, my friends. No, come on now. Go ahead and sing, Brandon. Lay it on us.
I hurt myself today to see if I still feel.
So, election insights, from AP. Clinton won more counties where less than 50% of the population was white. White people don't like Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump won Wisconsin, which Mitt Romney lost in 2012. Wisconsin also is home to the most racially segregated city in America, Milwaukee, with the most racist sheriff, who happens to be black, unfortunately. Clinton won counties where at least 45% of the population was black. Booyah! Stop blaming black people. Donald Trump won Pennsylvania, which Mitt Romney lost in 2012. She really is this year's Mitt Romney, right? Trump won counties where less than 10% of adults had bachelor's degrees. Okay. Trump won Iowa, which Mitt Romney lost. Trump won Iowa, Florida, and Ohio, which Romney lost.
Also, he won Wisconsin, which Romney lost. Yeah, he lost Pennsylvania. He won Pennsylvania, what Romney lost. He won all of the states Romney lost.
He won what Romney could not do. And the Clinton campaign, they screwed up. They screwed up.
Michael Moore was talking about how Trump was going to win.
Who?
Michael Moore.
Yeah, he was saying the 5 reasons why Trump was going to win. And, everybody was trying to put like all this hurt on him and all that and saying like Michael Moore was crazy and that, why is he caping so hard for Hillary Clinton? He needs to pipe down. He crazy. She can't possibly lose to him. But when you start looking at it, he says Midwest math, the last stand of the angry white man, the depressed Sanders vote, and
Ben is still up. Ben is on Twitter. Umar, shout out to Umar. Umar is starting shit. Umar is trying to start shit on Twitter. Umar talk about some. Oh, did my sister? Oh no, she's still up. He president, right, sis? What we gonna do? Yo, fuck this. I ain't paying my student loan payments no more. Fuck my credit. Fuck student loans. Fuck my car note. Fuck the man. Okay, I ain't paying shit. About to go take all my money. Go buy some shit. Go buy his plane tickets. We going to Belize.
I'm about to go take all my savings account and single and have someone and have a pretty white woman like make it rain on me while I twerk. I'm going to do this tomorrow night.
Yeah, good night, Sharon.
Go crazy.
Nina and Tulsi must be happy tonight. I don't think, honestly, like, I don't think any of us are really actually happy that Donald Trump beat Hillary Clinton. Not for real, I'm happy she lost. No, but seriously though, right? I'm not actually happy that Donald Trump won. But I do think that there's a certain, watching the Clintons have the ultimate come to Jesus moment, because they've been trying to reinvent themselves since they lost so badly to Obama in 2008. And like many people say, like Bernie, the Obamas, everybody can say, well, we tried, we did our best. I mean, you even had Jay-Z and Beyonce. Like, we tried.
They should have put their heads through the floor when they was bending over.
You guys act like Hillary is black. Trump didn't win because of the last stand of the white man. No, I'm joking. Like, calm down, copper fronts. I'm joking because that is the rhetoric that's already coming out tonight, that somehow black people let Miss Ann, as I don't know if you guys ever saw it. I had the hashtag I'm with Miss Ann some months back. It's not that I think that Hillary is black. Oh, hell no. Absolutely not. But there's been a running commentary for the last several days that if black people didn't do what they were supposed to do, they were going to let Hillary down. No, Hillary let America down, right?
Hold on, one second, real quick. The headline at Huffington Post is "Nightmare: President Trump soon he speaks." Yo, they dramatic.
Gold markets plunge as Trump gains a clear path to the presidency.
This is mad. This is dramatic as hell, son. It's not that serious, yo.
It's not.
It's all in red and black.
It can be, what happens if he tries to defund my agency?
Everyone who was,
Jill
saying Clinton can't lose.
Jill Stein, Al Jazeera News headline, Jill Stein, the Democratic Party sabotaged the one candidate who could have beaten Trump hands down, Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, that's
okay,
exactly
I will say this
correct.
though: the Green Party needs to reinvigorate its own base and get some new blood. Really need to get behind and help develop candidates like a Joshua Harris, like other candidates across the country who are younger, who are really savvy, and not that Jill Stein's not, no diss to her, but at the same time, we really need to start investing because this is the time. We don't have time to wait. It can't be all these lofty pie in the sky ideals. Folks have been doing the same damn thing, and this goes for the leftists as well. If you've been doing the same damn thing for 20, 30 years and haven't been able to move an inch, maybe it's time for you to listen to some of us younger folks coming behind you who've been able to kind of take a step back and look at things. Sometimes when you're in the middle of something, you can't see the full big picture the same way as somebody else who's looking at the full playing field. And we really need to have a serious conversation. I really think instead of waiting until 2017 to have a people's convention or whatever review meeting, we really need to get on some national calls like Friday at the latest. I know there's a DFA call tomorrow. I'm not sure what it's not going to sure how these calls that they were planning are going to go now. But I know there's some calls from like DFA and Move On and stuff coming up in the next couple of days. I suggest people, hear what people are talking about, because at least you can do is do some recon, right? While we build out what's going on next. Our revolution, I'm sorry, is going to have some stuff going on too. But there are a lot of people who ran, shout out to people like Cori Bush, who ran the primary unsuccessfully in the United States Senate race. Shout out to Jesse Smith, who ran in Alabama 3rd Congressional District. There are a lot of people who just got held out there and not really supported at all. And they're supported by us, of course. We just got to continue to grow and develop that support. We got to continue to flesh out specifically what that looks like and how. And I'm going to put in a plug again for Impact Us. Check us out on Twitter and Facebook, because that's something that, Marcus Farrell from former Director of African American Outreach from Bernie Sanders and a couple of other people that we're working on and trying to build out. And it's not just we're going to run candidates. It's really looking at grassroots community engagement, political education type work. So got some really good buy-in, some for. So we need y'all to continue to build things out going forward. I'm gonna turn it back over to you guys for a second while I tweet and read.
I think that we should probably call it a night. I think it's we can't watch Trump's speech and talk at the same time, and I really don't want to watch Trump's speech because I'm feeling.
We can,
I'm all clipping my feelings right now, guys. No.
I'm not like I knew I wasn't going to let this bother me no matter what. I knew that going in, right? So, yeah.
what I was gonna say is actually, I mean, at the end of the day, like I think that a lot of people in the media need to be fired. I won't be satisfied unless a lot of people lose their job over this. Like a lot of like people
I'm
who
still
write
trying
for
to
the
figure out, did
Huffington
David
Post,
Duke lose? Or is that the
a lot of
runoff?
Vox, a lot of Vox writers need to lose their job. A lot of
Vox just needs to
Daily
be shut
Beast writers.
down. Daily Beast
Nate
needs to
Silver
be the
needs to
prepper.
disappear.
Nate Silver
David
needs to go take a short
they need to
walk
they need to
over the
revoke.
long pier. Oh wow! So there's a runoff. So heads up, there is a runoff election in the Louisiana contest. David Duke only got 3%, but there's a runoff between the Democrat Foster Campbell, I believe it is, and John Kennedy. Because they had, I don't understand how Louisiana works. They had all these people in the race, but no one got 50% of the vote. So there's going to be a runoff. But David Duke did get knocked out, so that's a good thing. We won't have David Duke in the Senate. He only got 3% of the vote in Louisiana, so that's pretty awesome right there. Whoop whoop. I'm still looking. That's going to be a runoff, and Republicans won the Senate. They're at 51. Democrats at 47. I mean, you didn't win the Senate. You didn't win the House. You lost the presidency. You gambled and you went rights. I'm gonna be up all night. We can shut this down, but I'm gonna be up all right. I'm not disappointed in America. This is exactly what America has always been. So anyone who believed anything otherwise, I think they had to work really hard at it.
This is exactly what America is, 100%. No one should ever think this is a not.
On Twitter talking about something. This is the rejection of a black president and Black Lives Matter and support for. Nah, that's not what this is.
And then you hit him with that line. Hillary Clinton and the DNC didn't support none of that stuff anyway. So I don't know where that comes from. Yeah. Don't remember those emails. Make sure you don't give them any kind of policy support for any concrete policy or anything like that. Just make sure not to say all lives matter. That's about the extent that Black Lives Matter has influence on the DNC. Yeah. And that's the power structure of the Democratic Party for those of us that are not aware. Yeah, shout out to D-Ray. You know, I had my blue vest on in honor of him earlier. Psych, who could have used his ridiculously big platform to actually put forward a better candidate instead of engaging in petty Twitter battles. But yeah, like seriously though, those people need to take a break and not report on any more news and leave it to us. We got this from here on out. So thank you guys so much for rocking with us tonight. I mean, you know, we try our best to bring you a mixture. Go ahead, Brandon.
One thing, you're watching the Benjamin Dixon Show channel. If you haven't already, subscribe, like. If you find it in your heart, go to the Patreon page and support the Benjamin Dixon Show channel. So
they're saying, sources are saying that she conceded on the phone to Trump and did not make a statement to her supporters. Y'all should feel like shit that she didn't want to talk to you.
She never even liked you motherfuckers at all. Like that's the legit truth. Like at least Bernie pretended, like she didn't even pretend they like you. Like that's real messed up, son. How you feel? You feel embarrassed by supporting Hillary Clinton? You embarrassed? I know Nick voted for her.
He has called to concede the election.
Everybody was saying, Donald Trump, are you going to accept the election results? Or are you going to make sure that everybody accepts these results as cast? Are you going to dare cast doubt on the sanctity of our elections? They were really pushing that on him. That fool went on ahead and won.
I do want to apologize for anything I said tonight that might have been crass. Not because I didn't mean it, because it might have offended some of you. And if that's the case, I apologize. I'm actually just a scumbag, so it is what it is.
It really is what it is, and people are telling me, well, you can't be okay with this, and I'm like, well, no, I'm not. But I think there's a lesson to be learned here that if we don't make some serious changes, we could be looking at Trump 1, 2, 3, Trump ad nauseum. He's a symptom, not a disease. He's a symptom, and we have to start getting to treating the disease and really addressing those issues before we can really start trying to beat back this nonsense. And the number one thing, I'm gonna say it every day, you got to call these neoliberals. You got to get them out of there.
You should have wrote my name. You should have wrote my name on your ballot. Brandon's Sister Soldier 2016. That was a legit choice you could have made. I DM'd Sister Soldier the other day, and she agreed to be my running mate. But none of you guys had it in your heart to vote third party. What it is.
Yeah, and don't, and I know everybody said this, but don't blame the third parties for this
I'm
election
sorry,
result.
we're gonna bring that up real quick because people bitching because if you bitching about third party, then you're bitching about the libertarians, right? And so what you're saying to me when you're bitching about the libertarians stealing votes because Hillary Clinton could have won is that you agreed with the bullshit ass strategy of swinging right to get Republican or moderate Republican voters, because that's a lot of people who are voting for libertarians are people who are Republicans who couldn't stomach Trump. Right? Like, because that's been the strategy. Blame your damn candidate for swinging right in early August. Shout out to Carl Bear, references his article from August. Like,
Tim Kaine lost that election.
Right.
Tim Kaine lost that election.
Tim Kaine was a gimme to Republicans, right?
Tim
like,
Kaine,
that was their way to try and lure him over. Like, this is Huff.
Tim Kaine was a slap in the face to every Bernie supporter that they disenfranchised. And instead of just, Tim
Kaine, quite honestly, was a slap in the face to women, period.
It would have taken...
Not because he's a man, but because of the way, his very problematic history.
But he's a good guy.
No, F him. He speaks Spanish. That's all he does. Tim Kaine...
He's a good guy, though, Brandon.
It would have taken nothing to just pick a progressive
what you could have did?
vice
You
president.
wanted somebody who spoke Spanish, you could have got us somebody Latino. How about that?
Yeah, one of the Castros. There's like 15 Castro brothers. Shit. You could have just...
Let's be honest, though. If she had gotten Castro, that wouldn't have did nothing for her anyway, either. Because believe it or not, as popular as they like to portray it, he's actually not that popular. He really isn't. So that's just something to throw out there. Because Texas is a very strange place.
That's fair enough.
People
but
seem very progressive here, but when you take them out of the state of Texas, they're very conservative, and I don't think people were really taken to that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the point about Tim Kaine is that Tim Kaine best encapsulates the hubris of the Clinton machine to feeling that they had no reason to reach out to Democrats. Like Tim Kaine, sorry, not Democrats, but progressive. All she had to do was make a meaningless gesture to pick a progressive candidate to be her vice president. Anyone really. You could Tulsi Gabbard. Why not? Like, why? What power does the vice president actually have to get anything done? What does Joe Biden even do? Okay, I know what the vice president does. No one answer that question. I know what they do. My point is that
they write the crime bill and they
they run Homeland Security. They run your foreign policy.
My only point, my only point is that she never even tried to appeal to her own base. Instead, she tried to be whacking in the middle, and if you can't commit, you can't win. Democrats always running from their own base. It's sad. It was a bad. It's like Neera Tanden said. She has suboptimal instincts, and I guess she should. I guess she should have taken some lessons from some super predators like Obama. Obama's super predator. She's a suboptimal one. That's why she lost.
But look here, before I say, I know we just went through this, but I was going to say one thing I want to say about the whole third party thing is
he's a criminal.
She's not entitled to the votes for other candidates. Like if those other candidates were not there, she's not automatically entitled to their vote. Nobody is. So when you don't win somebody's vote, it's not their fault for not voting for you. You're inverting what accountability and what democracy actually is when you say stuff like that. And what I want to stress to everyone who's going to run that line is, again, she's not entitled to anybody's vote. Your vote is not, and if you're a voter, your vote is not owed to any individual person. If you choose not to give it to somebody, if you choose to give it to their opponent, if you choose just stay home, whatever, it's your vote. You can do whatever you want to with it, and it's not your fault. You know what I mean? It's not your fault in that regard. Now, when people start making arguments about, why she lost and all of this and all of that, what I will say is corruption is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And it's one of those things where people see it. People see it. And sure, we may not have been able to get Hillary Clinton in the court of law, which, really doesn't work properly when it comes to people with money in the first place or the powerful. The court of law really doesn't work well against those individuals. They might not have been able to get anything inside of the court of law, but they definitely got something in terms of the court of public opinion. And
cheaters
that's the
never
problem.
win. Cheaters never win.
It's just not her. Not this time.
Cheaters never win. And, bullies never win. Liars never win. You might as well just be like Brandon and be an open scumbag and everyone will love you. Or like Trump. Be a scumbag.
There you go. Look at him.
Well, you know what? My final thoughts is you need to stop with your little fancy pants, out of touch people who have no clue. You got Simone Sanders on TV talking about HBCU outreach don't matter. What? Why is anybody listening to you, boo? Like seriously, like this Democratic Party, excuse me, people who want to align with them, this is a reckoning. People need to recognize what's going to happen going forward, and we're not taking no for no answer. We're not bowing down. You know what? I welcome you. Everybody who decided they was going to go be with her and hold their nose and stuff, I welcome you right on back home. We got to get this work. We got a lot to do. 2018, there are mayoral elections coming up in 2017. Let's work on, instead of always focusing on the presidency, if that's the crown jewel, like you gambled working on the presidency and you lost the Senate, didn't really make a really serious dent in the House, and now all that hype about SCOTUS, poof.
I'm sorry. This just became like real for me. Like it's like watching this. Like, shit, America's gross. Like, it's just gross, dude.
It's absolutely gross. I mean, people spent
like,
months voting and stuff. It's like, well, Bernie Sanders supporters are just sore losers. Nah, we saw the writing on the wall. Y'all the ones that had your head so stuck far up your asses. But it's okay. I forgive you, because you know what? We got to get this work. We got work to do. There's a lot going on, and it takes all of us to be active and engaged and motivated really. And it's not just we need to change. We need hope and unseen. We need to be very clear. We need to have very clear policy objectives and initiatives, very clear candidates. We need to work together to replace some of these people in 2018. Look and see what senatorial candidates are coming up and start raising this money and getting this work and doing what we need to do. That's what needs to go on as we go forward. Seriously.
Are we doing last word?
Real quick, before we do last words, Pence looks like the villain, the enemy toy soldier from the movie Small Soldiers, with his white hair and his face like that. Go ahead.
So
yeah, I mean,
here's something I just want to kind of just throw out there. Neoliberalism is weak. It is. It's
crack
weak
is
sauce.
whack.
You know, it's time to let it
insecure. Go. Insecure. Neoliberalism is always insecure. Capitalism, by definition, is insecure.
Yeah, it's time to go ahead and let that go. That's what I want to say. I want to say one more thing, but I totally forgot it. Maybe to come back to me while y'all talking.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. My name is Brandon. I may act a little silly sometimes, but I do care. Not about this, but about myself. And I care about you guys, our viewers, and Anoa and Nick. And this whole thing is just like, this is all the DNC's fault, man. I can't get past that. Debbie Wasserman Schultz is such a fucking scumbag. Like, the DNC and Podesta and all people, like, they did this to us. And they should not be able to walk anywhere in America without being publicly shamed. Unfortunately, they won't be, because their friends will be like, oh, well, we don't have any effect of this. But like the Chris Hayeses and the Matthews and everyone who was blindly subdued, like everyone in the media who was like giving Trump free airtime, they shouldn't be able to go into a restaurant without the wait staff spitting in their fucking food, man. I'm sorry. Like, I know. I'm being not being hyperbolic. I mean that. Because this is what they did to the. I mean, yeah, I know that Trump is what America is, but he's not what America had to be. Bernie Sanders is what America could have been, and that. But he was stolen from us. He didn't lose fairly. Who can say if he would have actually lost that off? We know that she couldn't even beat Trump. So God knows if Bernie could have actually won. I mean, I was always on the side of the fence, like, well, maybe he would have lost anyway. But after this, nah, man. I think he had her in the primary. I think he had her dead to rights if they had given him airtime and not suppressed the vote. But this whole thing is just like so completely surreal and gross. And I know he's in the background, like talking while I'm talking, but it's like, just why? Like, I know why from like an academic standpoint, like a historical and economic standpoint, why stuff like this occurs. But even then, it did not have to. The DNC made it occur because there was another outlet for this. There was another outlet for the anger that Trump is feeding on, and his name was Bernie Sanders. But unfortunately, he wasn't good enough. He was great. He was great, but he was not establishment enough. People like never forget the DNC. This was a risk, and this was an outcome that the DNC thought was more favorable than goddamn Bernie Sanders winning, because they felt that Donald Trump was less of a threat to them, not us, not the rest of the world, but them and their power than Bernie Sanders would have been. So they fucking gave this to us. If you ever see Debbie Wasserman Schultz in the street, give her the fucking finger.
She won her seat, obviously.
She shouldn't be allowed to walk outside without a bag on her head. No, I'm dead serious. I believe in public shaming.
Obviously, right?
If you
were
publicly
we're gonna stop Brandon talk about issues involving women, because you're just so crass. Like, seriously, I'll have to do all women commentary from now on. Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
I don't give. You know what? Debbie Wasserman Schultz is a huge bitch. I don't give a shit.
Okay. We're it's 3:00 in the morning. You guys gotta forgive us. Definitely, we're so much better than this ordinarily, but this is just one of those nights.
I'm not.
We saying it because you want to be saying it too. Thank you so much for rocking with us all night long. We have tried to just be uplifting. They had a nerve to send literature after the convention. Yeah, I got something about a month ago. Obama approval ratings are pretty high right now. That might be a factor, but it certainly isn't the main reason Hillary lost. I mean, clearly he couldn't just give his beneficial, standing to her. I mean, that wasn't enough. So I don't really think Donald wanted to win, but when Hillary dumped the Bill Bush video, she pissed him off. Maybe so. But I really do appreciate all of you guys for rolling with us. This has been the Benjamin Dixon Show, Progressive Army, The Way with Anoa, Project Sanity, Nick Nowlin Takedown special. Election coverage. We're going to be coming back live, tomorrow night, The Way of Anoa at 8 p.m. and then the Benjamin Dixon Show at 9 p.m. We have more content for you. The Project Sanity, check out Project 70 on Thursday at 8 and the Benjamin Dixon Show again at 9. And Adair said earlier that David Cobb, Jill Stein's campaign manager, will be joining the channel Friday for a special interview. That's the least they can do after the Green Party sift my boys at Project Sanity on the debate that got aired on PBS. But holla,
they stole our shit, and they didn't even get 5%. What a bunch of losers!
Anyway, so greasy. Anyway,
I'm salty as hell.
Super salty as hell. All right,
Super
we're out tonight. You guys hit us up. If you're not already, follow Podcast Revolution on Twitter. We have this thing called Your Podcast. If you guys want to vent, voice your opinions, your thoughts, or whatever, you can dial in there, and Michael Salomon and our team at Podcast Revolution will turn it into a podcast featuring you. All right, we're out. Peace.
Oh, wait, before we go off.
Before we go off,
tell them what our Twitters are. Obviously, they can follow us on Twitter. They can do.
They all already, obviously. You can follow me on Twitter. It's 3:00 in the morning. I'm so tired. You can follow me on Twitter at The Way with Anoa. Check me out on thewaywithanoa.com. I'm on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, blah blah blah. My Patreon's patreon.com/The Way with Anoa. It's 3:00 in the morning. I'm so tired. Go ahead, you guys. Where can they find you guys at?
You can find me on Twitter at Pretty Bad Lefty. There you can read my misogynist and sexist slurs against Debbie Wasserman Schultz in real time as I think them up. Have a good night, everybody. I'm tired and a little bit sad.
You can find me at the Takedown Nick. That's my Twitter handle, and I really got nothing else to say about Donald Trump. This is interesting. We now have a cantaloupe for president.
Oh, wait, one more thing. I just want. A lot of you guys are thanking us for walking you through this and holding your hand and being a voice of fun and sanity. But thank you guys, man. Honestly, thank you, the viewers. Thank you to the chat. Thank you to all the people who stayed up with us. Because if I had to do this alone with myself, just me and myself, it would have been much more difficult. So it wasn't just us helping you. You guys really helped us out. I feel comfortable speaking for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. And thank you guys for so much. Again, thank you so much for listening and being here. Because that's why we tried, instead of being real hard hitting. And we've provided some analysis. We've joked around a whole lot, but that's what we're trying to do. Not that this is a joking matter at all, but seriously, you guys might not have caught it when I talked earlier in the evening about, issues with, a lot of us have had a lot of anxiety, and this is depressing. This has been a rough year and a half, and we'll get through this together. We're going to get through this together. We're going to come out on top. This is whatever your favorite underdog movie is. That's us. That's us. And we will, what I'm saying? We're going to be like Paul Atreides coming back with the Fremen vengeance. Tune reference. Sorry. Good night, everybody. Peace. No more talking, Brandon.